Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ayu Endalestari, you can call me Ayu. I'm a student of Mercubuana University majoring in accounting. In this video, I will explain about human resource management or payroll cycle. Okay, let's go straight to the video. Happy watching! The human resource management or payroll cycle is a recurring set of business activities and related data processing operations associated with effectively managing the employee workforce. The more important tasks include the following: recruiting and hiring new employees, training, job assignment, compensation or payroll, performance evaluations, and discharge of employees due to voluntary or involuntary terminations. The HRM-related activities and the collection of information about the use of employee time occur daily. The actual processing of payroll occur only periodically because in most organizations employees are paid on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis rather than every day. The HRM or payroll master database provide descriptive information. To more effectively use employees' knowledge and skills, many organizations have invested in knowledge management systems. Knowledge management systems not only serve as a directory identifying the areas of expertise processed by individual employees, but also capture and store that knowledge so that it can be shared and used by others. The systems can significantly improve productivity. The payroll systems has 5 major sources of inputs. The HRM department provides information about hiring, terminations, and pay rate changes due to raise and promotions. The checks are the payroll system's principal output. Employees receive individual paychecks in compensation for their service. A payroll check is sent to the bank to transfer funds from the company's regular accounts to its payroll account. The payroll system produces a variety of reports for internal and external use. We explain the controls necessary to ensure not only the reliability of the information but also the safeguarding of the organization research. Update payroll master database. An organization needs to update their master database to reflect various types of internally initiated change. It's also necessary to reflect change in tax rates and deductions for insurance. Validate time and attendance data. For employees paid on an hourly basis, many companies use a time card to record the employee's daily arrival and departure time. Professionals in such service organizations as accounting, law, and consulting firms similarly track the time they spend performing various tasks and for which clients recording the data on timesheets. Their employers use the timesheets to assign costs and accurately bill clients for services provided. Next, prepare payroll. To release each employee's gross pay, pay deductions, and net pay in a multi-column format. Deductions register. This register lists the miscellaneous voluntary deductions for each employee. Next, earnings statement. This statement lists the amount of gross pay, deductions, and net pay for the current period and year-to-date total for each category. Disbursed payroll. Most employees are paid either by checks or by direct deposits of the net pay amount into their personal bank account. Both methods provide a means to document the amount of wage paid. Calculate and disburse employers' paid benefit tax and voluntary employees' deductions. This is the final payroll activity. Many employers offer their employees flexible benefit plans, under which each employee chooses some minimum coverage in medical insurance, retirement plans, and charitable contributions. Flexible benefit plans place increased demand on a company's HRM or payroll system. There are 3 types of data processing integrity controls that can mitigate the threats of payroll errors. Batch total. If the original and subsequent batch total of employees number agree, it means that all payroll records have been processed. It also means that data input was accurate and no wages time card were entered during processing. Net pay column should equal the total of gross pay less total deductions. If it does not, an error occur in processing that needs to be promptly investigated and corrected. A payroll clearing account. This is a general ledger account that is used in a two-step process to check the accuracy and completeness of recording payroll costs and their subsequent allocations to appropriate cost center. A payroll services bureau maintains the payroll master data for each of its clients and processes payroll for them. A professional employer organization not only processes payroll but also provides HRM services. Payroll service bureaus are generally less expensive than PEOs because they provide a narrower range of services. Payroll services bureaus and PEOs are especially attractive to small and mid-sized business for the following reasons. Reduce costs. They both benefit from the economies of scale associated with preparing pay checks for the large number of companies. Wide range of benefit. PEOs pool the cost of administering benefits across all their clients. A PEO enables smaller companies to offer the same wide range of benefits that large companies typically provide. Freeing up of computer research. A payroll service bureau or PEOs eliminates one or more AS applications. The freed up computing research can then be used to improve service in other areas. This capture not many of the benefits that can arise by integrating the human resource management and payroll databases. Nevertheless, many companies maintain separate payroll and human resource management information systems. Why do you think this is so? Payroll and HRM systems are separate in many companies because integration was generally not feasible using early data processing technology. Also, different events generate data and two different professions were interested in using the data. As a result, many companies and their employees become accustomed to having payroll data processed by the accounting functions and personnel data processed by the human relation functions. Some accountants have advocated that the company's human assets be measured and included directly in the financial statements. For example, the cost of hiring and training an employee would be recorded as an asset that is amortized over the employee's expected term of service. Do you agree or disagree? Why? This question should generate some debate. The issue is the trade-off between subjectivity in measuring the value of the company's investments in the knowledge and skills of its employees versus the usefulness of less attempting of explicitly measure those assets. One of the threats associated with having employees telecommute is that they may use company-provided research, e.g. laptop, printer, etc. for a side business. What are some other threats? Other threats are not working or working less productively than if the employees were working on site. Security risks, such as the employee not proactively maintaining proper antivirus and patch management practices or not protecting and or backing up their data adequately. Inappropriate use of company hardware, e.g. gambling, visiting pornographic websites, etc. An increased risk of loss of confidentiality and privacy if sensitive data is stored on the remote computer. Such remote storage may also violate privacy regulations such as HIPAA, which primarily involve monitoring and the use of security control discussed in Chapter 8. For example, software exists to enable companies to monitor employees, including what they do on the internet. In addition, a company could require that telecommunicating employees log in their company's network and store all work-related files on the company's network and not on their home machines. The VPN connections could be configured to restrict what employees can do, such as preventing local storage of sensitive data and mandatory updates of antivirus and security software. The VPN software should be designed to prevent employees from simultaneously opening a VPN connection to the corporate network and a second connection to their ISP, i.e. disable split tunneling. How would you respond to the treasurer of a small charity who tells you that the organization does not use a separate checking account for payroll because the benefits are not worth the extra monthly service fee? A separate payroll account limits the organization's exposure to only the amount of cash deposit into the payroll account. A separate account is also easier to reconcile and to detect any errors or irregularities. This capture discusses how the HR department should have responsibility for updating the HRM or payroll database for hiring, firing, and promotions. What other kinds of changes may need to be made? Other types of changes include name changes, usually due to change in marital status, number of dependents, voluntary extra withholdings, and address changes.